attacks me in three ways. The first way is the body. All right, I have a physical allergy to alcohol and drugs. And when I put anything into my system, alcohol or drugs, it sets off what's called a phenomenon of craving. That is the allergic reaction. It means when I put it in my system, I want more, and I'm going to take more, and I'm going to do more until I can't do anymore, until I get stopped. So the first way is in the body, right? And it's called, the allergic reaction is called a phenomenon of craving. Hope that's right. Alright, and it's a physical allergy. No matter how long I live, I'm always going to have this. Does anybody have any allergies in this room? Like allergic to peanut butter or what are you allergic to?
Dust, pollen.
What happens when you get in contact with it?
My nose gets stopped up, my throat gets sore, my eyes start watering.
Right, and you can't stop that, right? You can't stop that from happening. You can't control that.
No.
Right? Okay. Same thing with drugs and alcohol. When I'm a real alcoholic and a real drug addict has a physical allergy to alcohol and drugs. When we put it in our system, the phenomenon of craving, the allergic reaction is that I'm off to the races. I'm going to start and I'm not going to stop until I get stopped. So I go on what's called a spree, right? But I can't go on forever because I'm going to use up my money, I'm going to use up your money, I'm going to pawn grandma's TV, and I'm going to get rid of everything that I can, but I can't go on forever and I'm going to get stopped. Right? But I can't stay stopped. But here I am, I get stopped. And usually somewhere along this line here, I had some truths that happened to me, some consequences that happened as a result of my addiction. And this little box right here is called truth. Alright, some of my truths are, I've been to jail. I've been to rehab. I've lost homes. I lost custody of my children. There's been violence. Lost jobs. Destroyed relationships. And the list goes on and on. Some people that I work with, they've actually OD'd and died and have been brought back multiple times. But yet we keep going out. If dust and pollen did this to you, you wouldn't go out into a dust storm, right? You wouldn't go out and smell a bunch of flowers.
Right.
So if we just stay away from this, it doesn't kick off. The allergy doesn't kick off. And then these things don't happen to me. And it's easy for you to just not go out in it. But we keep going back. And that's where the families get confused. The families don't know what to do. When I'm coming out of jail, my family bails me out of jail and says, "All right, we're gonna keep you safe. You know, just come stay with us. We're gonna keep you safe. We just get him out of jail this time. Maybe he'll get on the right track." Lost houses, lost businesses. My family was doing the best they could do, the best they knew how to do, but actually it was enabling me to keep on in my addiction. If there is no enabling, there is no addiction. It's just plain and simple. The disease can't operate without being enabled. So, these are my truths. This is stuff that happens to me when I do dope and when I drink alcohol. Maybe not every time, but it happens to me. When I promised my family that I wasn't going to do this anymore, when I promised my family I'm going to stop, when I promised my family, if you just pay this bill, I won't do it anymore, I promise, I meant it. I meant it from the bottom of my heart that I wasn't going to do it again, but I couldn't stop. All right, so you're wondering, well, just don't put it in your system. And the family says, can't you see what you're doing to your loved ones? Can't you see what you're doing to your life? You're destroying your life. Can't you see? Why don't you just quit? You think you quit for her, You think you quit for your job. Look at your health. Your liver's failing. What's wrong with you? Why don't you just stop? Right? And we get to the second fold of this disease, and it's called the mind. And that's where my disease centers. It centers in my mind. So when I go to these treatment centers, and a lot of my family thought too, if when I went to a treatment center and came out, I'd be okay. Right? Because I got cured in a treatment center. And the treatment center gave me a bunch of knowledge, but this is where my disease centers in my mind. So when I go into a treatment center and get a bunch of knowledge, I'm trying to fix a sick mind with a sick mind. It doesn't work. The thing with the mind is called a mental obsession. I can't differentiate the truth from the false when it comes to drugs and alcohol. Here are my truths. And over here are my falses. The false is what my mind tells me before I pick up again. Some of the falses I told myself, and this is kind of common for any addict, alcoholic. For me, just a 20. I'm just going to spend $20 worth. Do I have an experience ever that shows me that I can just do $20 worth of cocaine? No, never, not once. Not once do I have an experience that shows me I can do that. But my mind tells me I can't. I'm just going to do $20 worth. Just a 20. Nobody will know. Now, people knew when I got loaded. I mean, I couldn't hide it very well. But my mind will tell me, nobody will know. People knew, every time. It's a prescription. It's a prescription. A doctor gave it to me. Never mind, I'm taking my prescription, and I'm going in there faking a backache to get some pain medicine. But I say it's a prescription. It's legal. I can do this. Never mind, I'm eating the whole prescription up in like 3 days. I can control it. I don't have an experience that shows that I can control it. Not once. Not one experience. Just way back when I was a kid, right? I had an experience where I could control it, where I could just smoke a joint, where I could just do a couple lines, where I could just drink a couple drinks. But that was a long, long time ago. I crossed the line somewhere in my addiction where I couldn't control it anymore. But my mind still tells me I can control it. I'll be able to control it this time. Right? Now, when I'm in jail, another one is just to heck with it. Except we use a little stronger terms when we're in our mind thinking, and when we say something else, but to heck with it. Now, when I'm in jail, and I'm in rehab, and I'm homeless, and I'm losing custody of my kids, right in that moment, when I say I'm sitting in jail, and they let me out, and when I'm sitting in jail, I'm like, the heck with that. I'm not doing drugs anymore. I'm not. I made a sound resolution, and I'm not going to do drugs anymore. I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm going to turn my life around. But when I come out of jail, I carry me with me. And after a couple weeks, my mind goes to the heck with that. To heck with it. Just get loaded. Because I can't bring into my memory with sufficient reason, with sufficient force, the pain and humiliation of even a week or a month ago. I can't differentiate the truth from the false. It centers in my mind, remember? So even though all these are my truths, I have paperwork with a lot of this stuff. I have felonies, and I have, a lot of my stuff's on record. Right? These are my truths. This is what happens to me. My mind tells me this, and I believe this every single time. And what drives this mental obsession? And this is what has to be treated. Spirit. I'm restless. Irritable and discontent. It's called a spiritual malady. It's a spiritual sickness. And the longer that I'm sober, the more I can see how this affected me when I was a child. How I just didn't feel right. But I didn't have anything to judge it on, because I'd always felt that way all my life. I'm sitting in this. along about the time I'm 12 years old,